Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. We're going to continue on this weekend, just like yesterday, with a double request from Michael Pitts, and this is another Demon Hunter track. Just as yesterday, he asked specifically if I could check out the lyrics while I listened to today's song, which is Gasoline, and I am, but I'm also going to kind of cheat a little bit. There is a couple of explanations about some of the lines, as well as an overall explanation of the song on genius.com. So, as I said yesterday, lyrics are not my strong suit. Poetic analysis is not something I can do anywhere near as fast as I can with musical analysis. So, we're just going to cheat here and see that the song is about the lead singer, possibly Ryan Clark, one of the people in the band, anyways, saying that their worldview is not shared by all their fans, and that he's not going to apologize for his beliefs, his worldviews. He says the song is an admission of my often unpopular ideals, and a backhanded promise to snuff out whatever damage I may have caused with gasoline. So, it is a very antagonistic track, at least lyrically, and the themes that go in there. But let's get into this and see what's actually going on musically.
I thought about you.
It's actually a lot lighter than I figured given the intro.
I thought about the ones that I forget. Oh, please forgive me. I hope that I've not pushed you to the edge.
Got a very deep voice though.
Let me wash away the painful words I wrote. We can smother around the flames within.
I like the bass kicks and the lyrical rhythms actually being quite a bit fast for the tempo and creating this nice juxtaposition of speed versus slowness. Alright, let's kick it in. A very rhythmic melody line there.
You break around me. You say that I should give my heart a rest. Let me wash away
So that was a very short verse.
words I wrote. We can smother around the flames within my soul. No more standing by the way that I believe.
Is this a different singer though from Gunfight? I know this was 4 years earlier. 5 years earlier. It's kind of interesting how the entire feeling of the song is such a drastic departure. It's so different. Oh, I take that back though. Here we go. Yep.
Watch these flames like a tower of descent, choking out regret, devouring light, an image of my soul, out of our control.
Back to the chorus. Oh, okay. Yeah, they got a really nice melody on the guitar line now. right, so that was interesting. Um, I'm gonna say that I'm just not digging it as much as Gunfight, but it is really cool to see how a band grows, and there's also a very strong chance that, assuming the band hasn't really changed much over these two or three albums between these two songs, that this could have been the ballad-esque song on the album. This could have been the slow one. I don't know the rest of the album. I don't know if this is indicative of the Extremist album or not, but it was not as musically interesting, even though I think, given the request for me to check out the lyrics, this was suggested on a lyrical stance, a thematic stance, rather than a musical one, which is fine. It just, for me, lacks a little bit of stuff to talk about on the musical side. Um, so one thing that I mentioned about halfway through is that I thought it was interesting that there are so many different aspects to it. I feel like the vocals are very different from Gunfight, mostly in range, but also in rhythmic element. It feels like a totally different singer here. And if it's the same person, that is phenomenal. That's actually quite a bit of range there, not just musical range of lows and high notes, but also the way that you write lines for yourself. So that's really cool. But I also mentioned that the song was also missing some of the elements that I talked about with Gunfight yesterday, in that they overlaid singular melodic lines over semi technical rhythmic elements that synergized with the band and creating a rhythmic floor to rise up the melodic aspects, the musical lines. And I didn't really see too much of that in this. Some of that is just because it is more ballady. They went for a lot of legato notes and these really long, held out, half notes, whole notes, and more of a subdued rhythmic attention. First of all, it creates a more somber, almost down to earth atmosphere to it, and that really lends itself well to the lyrical content here of sort of it's a very personal song to uh, Ryan. I think that was it. Yeah, Ryan Clark. Um, and there's definitely an attention put on the lyrics and the lyrical content rather than the music itself. A lot of the music really does kind of sit in the background, and it does even more to highlight the lyrics. Not only are the lyrics, the vocals mixed higher than the rest of the instruments, but the rest of the instruments really aren't doing anything that's going to draw your attention either. There's a razor focus. Razor focus. Yeah, we're gonna go with it. There's a razor focus on making sure that the people listening to this are absorbing the lyrics. That's what they're going to be paying attention to most. They do show a little bit of that more technical side in the post chorus whenever he shouts gasoline, and it goes into a bit of a run. And that melodic line in the guitar kind of blends a little bit of both that we were talking about yesterday. Instead of having a rhythmic floor with a melodic line above it, this is a melodic line that is heavily rhythmic. So it's a really interesting blending of their two styles into a single melody line, especially when you juxtapose it with the rest of the track, which is mostly long held out notes. So it definitely comes out and punches. It kind of feels like, as they said, the backhanded promise to deal with the damage I have caused. It's that backhanded compliment. It is a forceful statement right there with the guitar coming in, the drums ramping up. I really dig that. There was one section, I think it was, uh, I don't remember. I think it was moving into the final verse. Maybe it was the final verse where we actually started to see. some heavily rhythmic elements underneath some melodic lines, and I think it was a nice little sort of pulling back the curtain and letting some of what I would say possibly is their core style, their core writing style, show a little bit. I don't know what that has to do with the thematic elements. It was just really cool to kind of put that in there. It didn't really fit, unfortunately, as far as I see with the composition. It's quite out of place, but I don't know. I think, like I said, it was a nice little Easter egg, I guess you could say, just putting what they usually write in there, or what I assume they usually write. And then the last thing I want to talk about is in the final chorus, there was a right panned guitar that looked like left. A right pan guitar. It's backwards for me, but it looks better on the screen. Um, that played a simple 3 beat melody line, maybe 4 beat melody line. I don't remember. It was just something simple. It was a few eighth notes, and it was played against the vocals in the chorus. And you know what? I think it was 4 beats because it was 4 beats of playing and then 4 beats of silence and then 4 beat and then they repeated the 4 beat line and then silence again. And so yeah, they alternated between a 4 beat musical idea and then a bar of silence, just this back and forth of bar of playing, bar of silence. And I thought it did a lot to, well, first of all, it was counterpoint to the vocals, so there was actually there was some stronger musical ideas happening, something I could appreciate more than just a melody line on top of chords. And it just added a little bit of complexity to the track that I think it was sorely missing. The juxtaposition between the simpler work that's present through most of the stuff and then that more technical, rhythmically technical guitar line that plays when he screams gasoline at the end of each of the choruses. It seems a bit out of place. Like I said, it's a good gut punch. It kind of works with the themes of that backhanded apology, but it's it's just kind of out of place in the musical composition. And I think that guitar coming in on the final chorus is actually the kind of complexity that the song needs, sorely needs more of. I wish we could have seen that in all of the verse or all of the choruses, and on the final chorus embellish it a little bit. Maybe have a left panned guitar as well, maybe doing a third line or harmonizing with the guitar line or something. I like the idea of the final chorus embellishing and adding on the other choruses. We see this so often with pop where you'll get the original vocal line and then you'll get vocalizations from the singer on top of it. It is a very strong, easy, powerful way to finish off a song to really drive home that impact and get that final little bit of escalation before you hit the denouement and finally the conclusion of the song. It is so easy to do, and I love that they did it here. I just wish it had been done differently, where that line, the final chorus, was the norm, and they went above that for their final chorus. But yeah, I guess overall it does work. Like I said, the song is vocal focused, and they make a lot of decisions to ensure the vocalist is front and center for pretty much every listener. I think it's very difficult to ignore the vocalist in here, and the musical composition, the song composition revolves around the vocals. When the vocals need to get heavy, the song gets heavy. And like I said, it doesn't really fit on the song composition level, but it works well within the lyrical content. So I don't know. It's not a bad song by any means. It's just I don't want to say this because it comes off negative, and we are not a negative community. We uplift songs when we can, but it's just a little simple for my ears, unfortunately. I think there's a lot of things that could have been done that would have still kept the vocals front and center. It still would have retained its listenability. It just would have had a little extra oomph to it. And I think they displayed this in Gunfight yesterday, where they found ways to add some musical ornamentation and complexity to it without subtracting its listenability. And maybe that's just a maturation thing. Like I said, this was 5 years prior to Gunfight, so maybe that's something that they learned over those 5 years. I think they had like two albums between them, according to according to Gene. I think it was like two or three albums between the two tracks. So it definitely could have just been a learning curve. Maybe it could have been new members being added in. I don't know, but there's definitely less maturity in the musical composition on this track than Gunfight. But those are just my thoughts on Demon Hunter's Gasoline. It's where you guys come in, though. Drop some stuff in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed it or not. If there's anything I might have missed. Maybe you disagree with me on something. Maybe you agree. I don't know. Let me know, though. Above that's the description box. There's some links in there for stuff adjacent to the channel, such as Discord, Patreon, Twitter, you name it. There's like 10 links in there. I'm sure you'll find something you're interested in. Under that, like, subscribe, ring the bell. All three of those things help out the channel immensely. I'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC, with something new. Normally we do special selections on the beginning of a week, and we don't have any more special selections to really do. We've got 4 left, which is not adequate for a full week. So I'm taking over. The first week of every month is going to be what I want to do. We're going to be checking out some bands that have been highly requested of me. We're going to be checking out new songs from bands I've enjoyed. We're going to be looking at stuff from my inbox. I've been asked by a lot of up-and-coming bands to check out their music. I've been asked by a lot of fans, you guys in the community, to check out your own music. And I want to do all of this. I get 5 days a month to look at the music that I actually want to look at and promote. I'm not saying that I don't want to do the themed stuff that we do. It's always a blast to sort of have this cohesive idea and check out musics that you guys have asked of me. And sometimes we go a bit extreme, but I always come out the other end intellectually challenged. Well, I hope you took that the way I intended. Um, but there is stuff that I personally want to get on the channel, either just out of sheer excitement because everybody has asked for it, like when I took Christmas to do Car Bomb. Uh, I'm still kind of surprised that that's what was so heavily requested. It kind of bounced off of me, but I can understand it was super complex. I understand why it was requested so much. But yeah, there's certainly bands that are just so requested. I'm like, why? I gotta check this out. I'm interested. So, anyways, yeah, first week of every month will be my time. We're gonna look at what I want to look at. Taking back a little control. Uh, so yeah, that's what starts tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about it. We're gonna kick off with a new song from a band that we've checked out before. I'm pretty excited about that one. And then I don't know what the rest of the week entails yet. I really don't. I'm gonna wing it. Kind of like I'm winging this outro because I don't ever know how to stop my own rants other than just abruptly, which just seems weird. It's just I don't know. Let's move on. That's tomorrow. Until next time, though, remember to be critical, not cynical of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.